These are the 3 things that you should also be writing down. You want to have these with you. There's always going to be a current issue. There's always going to be the hot button political issue coming at you. Here's the 3 questions you ask every time you're facing a decision, all right? So as you're facing the issue, question 1, does this disobey the Bible? All right, that makes sense. That's the first place you start. And the Bible is full of really clear scriptures on big subjects. So there's lots of big subjects where you can see a clear direction from Scripture on how to respond to it. You can pick and choose parts you don't like, but the only real question is, this is what Scripture says. I'm going to either obey it or not obey it. Now, there's certain scriptures that are pulled way out of context and used in terrible ways, but if you know the context of the scripture, you understand the whole chapter, the entirety of it, and understand what it's saying, and it gives clear direction, the only question then is, am I going to obey it? There's parts that people don't like. That's not my problem. It doesn't bother me. I know what it says. I don't struggle with that, and so I have decided it's not a book of suggestions, and when it has clear direction, I follow it. You have to decide that for yourself. Now, there's a lot of other things that do not have clear scriptures. There are gray areas where you sort of are making decisions, but you don't have that clear scripture. What do you do then? Thanks for asking. Question 2, all right? Question 2 is, should I do this? This is where Paul went. Love is the actual topic in 1 Corinthians 8. He said, you're correct. You're free to eat the meat. You are free to eat from this butcher that may or may not have sacrificed it to idols. Now, should you? If you have a weaker brother or sister that's really struggling in this area, perhaps, even though you have the freedom, maybe you shouldn't. And then Paul says, if anything I do is going to make my brother stumble, I'm not going to do it. So meat's probably not the most practical issue for our world today. This is how culture has moved. So let's use a practical one. A really practical one is alcohol. And this sermon's not about alcohol, so let's don't even go there. But if you look at the subject of alcohol, is drinking alcohol, is that disobeying the Bible if you do that? No. Drunkenness does, but we see Jesus turn water into wine. Communion was wine. Obviously, Jesus is at parties. His first miracle is at a party. I'm going to assume he drank at it. Don't email me. I don't know. I'm just saying it's a different culture. He's there. He's doing miracles. Now, should I drink alcohol? Well, that depends. We are surrounded by people who are really struggling in this area. There's people with addictions in this area. Out of love, what Paul's getting at is we got to be careful that we're not making someone stumble who's near us. Perhaps we have to abstain from alcohol because you have a weaker brother or sister in your life or around you. Your decisions of when you are having a drink first has to be viewed from the eyes of love. Can you start from a position of love? Very important caveat to this. Be careful once you've made that decision not to now dictate to everybody else what they should be doing around you. This is what the church really likes to do. We start to get known for what we are against instead of what we are for. We start to tell everyone that may not have the same issues that you do, what they can and cannot do. Now, either way, love is your starting point. Okay, the Bible doesn't say no, my conscience is not stopping me, so I can do whatever I want after that, right? No, sorry, there's a third question. The third question you should contemplate whether you should or should not do something in our current culture.